What's up, Toby?
What up, guys? Welcome back to the garage, man. We worked all night on this. Dustin finished every single bit of the body work on the car yesterday. Dude, he really knocked this thing out. I have to tell you, this thing is smooth, bro. Just being around him for that short period of time, like, I have already learned so much just by watching him, the way that he does things, and he explained a few things to me and whatnot. Like, I don't know, I just enjoy having somebody around me like that that actually knows what they're doing. It's like you learn off of each other, you know what I'm saying? But anyhow, the car is for the most part ready for primer. I have it all masked off. I have it masked off to where we're not going to have primer overspray going inside of our door jambs and stuff. Got the windows all masked. I still need to do the sunroof, and I still got to put some plastic over the whole front end to protect all this from getting oversprayed. But we're that freaking close, man. I got to get the car done, get it rolled out, and then get the rest of the parts done. Got this thing all masked off. Now before we primer, I want to skim over it really quick. I'm gonna use 320, no, not 320, probably 180. I have 180, in which I ordered this roll right here off of Amazon. If you guys are wondering or interested, normally I get my sandpaper from like Old School or whatever, which it can be pretty expensive. This was 100 sheets of 6-inch sticky back sandpaper for my DA sander. This was 20 bucks, bro. Dustin and I were both using this yesterday, and even Dustin said that it performs pretty well. Like, he basically used one sheet per panel on the car. So, you know, you use one sheet on the door, another sheet on this door, and then another sheet for the quarter panel and up here, which isn't terrible, man. For 20 bucks, you can't freaking beat it. And it was 1-day delivery. Like, and they had all the grits on there, dude, all the way down to like 80 grit. But all right, guys, now we are 100% ready for freaking primer, dude. I skimmed over it really quick with 180 grit and just checked for, you know, little things that potentially could have been missed. Made sure I got all the edges and everything once again. I need to cover up my lug nuts. The only thing I don't want to overspray. The wheels are whatever, but the lug nuts I don't want to overspray. We don't have to worry about the front ones because the whole front's covered. So I'm going to be using this U-Pole 4-to-1 high build. So it's a 4-part primer and then 1-part hardener. This stuff is crazy thick, bro. So you can put this on, just mix it 4-to-1, and you can spray it really thick like that to really kind of build up and hide imperfections. The idea would be to put it on really thick so you can come back with a block and sand it to get rid of like imperfections and stuff. But I am going to be reducing this because for the most part, the car's already been block sanded and smoothened out. So we just want to, we're going to do a little bit of block sanding after we spray, but we don't need to hide a bunch of stuff because we've basically already gotten the whole thing smooth, man. Dustin kicked freaking ass on this car. So I will be reducing this to thin it out a little bit so it does lay out a little smoother and not so thick. Find our 4-to-1 column right here. So it'll be 4 parts primer, 1 part of the hardener, and then I'll do 1 part reducer. Sometimes these freaking lids are a pain in the ass to slide onto here. Like the plastic wants to grip the plastic and it pushes this cup down. What I've learned that really helps with that is just put a drop of lacquer thinner or whatever it is that you use to clean your spray gun, and then it basically like lubes it up around the edge, and then it'll slide on easy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta spit on it first, bro. Game on. Alright, first coat of primer is done, and dude, once you get primer on this thing, it stands out. Like, huge how much of a difference this is, man. Like, I wish that you guys could have all seen this thing in person before we started working on it. Like, this thing is so freaking straight now. The body line alone is just amazing in comparison. I'm so freaking stoked on how this thing is coming out, man. This is gonna be amazing. I can't wait to start spraying color down. But anyhow, I'm ready to go ahead and put the second coat of primer on. I've already got it mixed up in the gun. Alright, man, 2 coats of primer is down. I've given this thing long enough that it's kind of dry to the touch. This primer takes a long time to dry though. You know what I'm saying? It's got to harden before we can go sanding on it. So What I'm gonna do now is go ahead and just roll the car out of the booth. I'm gonna put it out in the yard. Tomorrow morning, whenever the sun comes up, it'll give it some time for the sun to kind of bake on it too. I mean, by the time the sun comes up, this stuff will already be dry. But I want to get it out of the way, so now we can bring the bumpers, the fenders, all that kind of stuff in here, and I want to try to get all that stuff coated with some primer tonight as well. So tomorrow, everything will be good and dry. We can start block sanding. I got the booth all loaded up with all the larger body panels, like obviously the fenders, the two bumpers, and the hood. We still have like the mirrors and the side moldings and those two little pieces that go underneath the tail lights. Like there's a bunch of other little stuff that I just don't like crowding the booth, you know what I'm saying? I like to have like a decent amount of room around everything. So I'm gonna try to get all this stuff at least primered. Well, I have to go over it and just check everything. The fenders are good. Dustin did the fenders. I'll probably just like this area down here that's behind the side skirt. I just want to scuff that a little bit so if paint gets on it, it's not going to chip off. And then like this little back edge right here, I'm going to sand that really good because it hasn't really been touched. But now with the bumper, this little lip right here, dude, this is where, like if you look right here, you see all this paint that's like chipping off. Like I don't want that to be there. Like we got to get rid of that. So this is all from when they painted the car before, they left the bumpers on, so the trunk or whatever sits right here to where like you can't really get to this edge to sand it and prep it properly so your paint will freaking stick to it. So yeah, that's the reason why this stuff is just coming right off, dude. Like I can take my fingernail and just scrape it off. So I need to get all that out of there before I hit it with primer. I've already went over the hood again, just skimmed over this right now with 120. And then the front bumper is pretty much good, man. You guys already know we hit this with the sandblaster, or with the dustless blaster, and just like knocked all the paint off of it back down to the original paint. So now I already went over this earlier and just made sure all the little areas and little crevices and stuff are all scuffed up really well. So that's pretty much ready. The hood is pretty much ready. I got a little bit more sanding to do on the rear bumper and on the fenders, and then we can start priming again. right, went and picked up a bunch of supplies from Old School. We got a little bit of everything here, man. A little bit of everything. A lot more than $100, I'll tell you that. One thing I miss about working at the sign shop is having a boss to buy all these materials for you. Jesus Christ, this time it really broke the bank. I wish I only paid $100 for all that, but anyhow, now we're gonna hit the road, get back to the house. Yeah. Alright, we're back at the house, man, and I've seen a lot of questions, a lot of people curious as to exactly what products it is that we use a lot of times whenever we are doing things like painting a car. So I figured I'd share with you guys really quick everything that I've gotten. Now, whenever it comes to plastic bumpers, I forget exactly what it is, plastic, rubber, polyurethane, whatever it is, you can't just spray primer directly onto them. You need a adhesion promoter. So anytime you have a bare plastic or something, you want to use an adhesion promoter before putting, like, once you spray the bumper with this, then you can go over the top of that with primer, and then continue on as if you're with, like, as if it was anything else, base coat, clear coat, whatever. But that is what it is I use as far as adhesion promoter. This is an aerosol can. You can also get it in like a quart can or a gallon can, so you can spray it out of the gun, but this has always just been easier for me because I only ever do like bumpers or lips or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just small things. So an aerosol can actually works out great. I got another can of trim black. This works really good for mirrors, for side molding, for trim, basically. I picked this up so we can do that chrome trim that's running around the windows on the car. I want to black all that out. I just think it'll look a lot better, and this is what it is I'm going to be using to do that after we prime it, because I will be priming it as well. The high build that we currently have on here right now is this U-Pole UP2253. This is what it is that I used. It is a 4-to-1 mix ratio. When you buy the kit, it'll come with a hardener. This is the hardener that I was using, and this is gray, but they also have it in black, and I believe they also have it in white as well, but I'm not sure. This is the same exact thing. It is a 4-to-1 primer, high build primer, but this is black, and what we're going to be using this for, I'll get into here in a little bit. We're going to be using this in this video. So at Old School, I grabbed a thing of lacquer thinner. This thing was like 48 bucks for a 5-gallon jug of lacquer thinner, so I figured I may as well just get a 5 instead of continuing to buy these damn gallons that I get at Home Depot. I think this is, if I remember correctly, it's 20 bucks just for 1 gallon. If I remember correctly, it might be 10. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it was just under 50 bucks. Well, probably after 50 bucks with taxes and stuff for a 5-gallon bucket of lacquer thinner. And all I really use this for is cleaning my spray gun. So not gonna run out for a while, right? Moving on to the paint. This is the paint that we're gonna be using on the car. This is cypress green. This is a 1-to-1 reduced 1-to-1. Yeah, so this wow, really? Damn, I got a lot of paint. So I have a whole entire gallon of this, where if it's a 1-to-1 mix ratio, when it's mixed, that's 2 gallons. Damn, bro, I have plenty enough paint to paint probably 2 cars. Holy shit. I'm gonna have a lot of this left, dude. Maybe I can use this on the 64? Maybe the S10? Do you think the S10 will look good in cypress green? I don't know. Put it in the comments down below. But this is a Valspar paint. I've never used this before, so I heard good things. I heard it covers really well. This isn't the most expensive thing they had, but it also wasn't the cheapest thing that they have. I didn't want to get the cheapest stuff. I wanted to get something of good quality. Just to put it out there, this discounted. The guy gave me a little bit of a discount on it. This was $380 just for this 1 gallon right here, bro. So yeah, paint can be expensive, but remember, this is basically 2 gallons. So realistically, I should have just got 2 quarts. That would have been enough to cover the car, but I don't know, I'd rather have too much than too little, you know what I'm saying? Moving on over to the body filler that we're using, I got what Dustin recommended me to get. Normally whenever I go in and get body filler, I always just grab the cheapest thing that they have on the shelf, but the problem with that is some of them are a lot harder to sand, therefore making your work a lot harder. It'd take you a lot longer to sand it down and get it smooth than what it would if you spent a few more dollars on a better body filler. He recommended me get this one because it sands really easy. This is the Evercoat Rage Ultra. If you guys are interested in that, you can take a screenshot. And then from there, this is the glaze that he brought with him. It's a 3M 31180. Looks like that's the product number on it. But this is the finishing glaze that he used over the top of any body filler that we used. And like he had explained in the other video, this stuff is basically like a finisher, or kind of like what I would want to call it is it seals the body filler. I know we talked about this in another video, but I've always had the problem, like if you use body filler on a spot and then you come back and you primer it, whenever it dries, you'll notice that where the body filler is at is like a really flat color. Like the primer dries and it's like really flat. It's almost like the body filler sucks the primer in, like it's absorbing it, you know what I'm saying? And for me, over the years, I have always used a high build primer and just did multiple coats until it stopped doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I've always sealed body filler. And I guess, in which from experience now, it didn't take but one coat to cover all the body filler that he used on all these panels and on the car. Just one coat of primer, and I noticed it was gone. It wasn't sucking it in like it normally does. And that is thanks to this finishing glaze. So this is a new thing to me. I've never used it before, so I don't know, but I know this stuff is pretty expensive too. I don't know how much this one costs because, like I said, Dustin brought it over, but just be warned, I know this stuff is expensive. Like, I wouldn't doubt that this right here cost $100, you know, this thing by itself, but you don't use a lot of it. You do your body filler and your dent repair, and then you use a thin layer of this over the top of it. Yeah, guys, I got all this stuff all primered. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Oh, and in the bag, I got a bunch of mixing cups, sticks, and filters, the little cone filters and stuff. I gotta get all this stuff put away. I really need a shelf in here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got everything primered, and this was all last night, so it's had a chance to dry. It sat overnight. And now I need to go back and actually do some block sanding, probably with like a 400 grit, 320 or 400, and just lightly sand everything, get it all smoothened out, shape it, make sure everything's perfect. This is like your one last chance to make sure everything looks good. And then we're gonna do one more coat of primer on it, and I'll cover that as soon as we get to that step. All right, I got all this stuff all sanded down using 320 grit to smoothen out all the primer. You guys know how like primer, whenever you put it on really thick, it leaves like an orange peel. So basically, I sand it to the point to where you don't see that orange peel anymore, and everything is just smooth, bro. Fender's done, got the rear bumper done, got the hood done. I'm not gonna do anything to the front bumper right now because there are a couple spots, a couple dents in it that I need to fix, for one, and for two, I need to get it test fitted on the car. We need to do like the intercooler and stuff. I need to see how much it is that I'm gonna have to cut. I want to save the grill as much as I can. I want to see if once we get it mounted up, if I'd be able to just kind of cut this stuff a little bit thinner and be able to fit it in there, or if I'm gonna have to just completely cut it all the way out, dude. I don't know yet. So I'm gonna wait on doing too much to the front bumper until we get to that point, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to end up getting it painted and have to cut it and screw it up and have to repaint it. I'm gonna go ahead and move the front bumper out and move the rear bumper over there, so then that's gonna clear up a spot that we can put the damn trunk. I just realized I completely forgot about the trunk, dude. It's just sitting in my garage still. But anyhow, while I've been out here, or while I've been in here sanding, Dustin's been out here. Hey, Josh is here. Hi, Josh. You quit your job?
Yeah.
You genuinely quit your job? Oh, You guys were slow, huh?
I was there from 1 to 5 and made 30 bucks, so yeah.
Oh. Dustin's been out here block sanding on the body of the car while I've been in there sanding all the other shit. Eee, look at this powdery ass thing. That primer is really powdery, huh? Sexy, bro. It's sexy. Dude, this car has been a journey over the last couple of days, man. It's now Saturday night. Tomorrow, I plan on doing just a really quick, light once over with probably like, I don't know yet. I'm so tired, but a really fine gray. Anyhow, so now this black, this is a primer. This is that 2K primer that I was showing you guys earlier. Well, it's a high build, 4-to-1. And the first time we primed it, it was gray. But the one that I just used is the exact same stuff, but it's black. Basically what we're using this black primer for is a sealer. So I reduced it like quite a bit, man. It was like 4 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and then it was like 2 parts reducer. Like I thinned it out like a lot, like as if it was base coat pretty much. Just to hit, I did 2 coats on everything just to get it coated with black. And now we can really see how straight the body is, man. This thing looks freaking amazing. But the main purpose of this is so that I don't have such a light color like the gray in order to paint over. So now, whenever we go to start laying our base coat, since it is kind of a darker color, it's gonna be a lot easier to cover it now that we have a black base, pretty much. So it's like, this is kind of like a base for the base. So I'm using it as a sealer pretty much. So now we can come back tomorrow and I have to completely remask the car. I'm gonna take all this mask off. I already took all the plastic mask off that we had on the front, the sunroof, and on the back, because come tomorrow, whenever this primer is dry, that stuff is just gonna turn into confetti all over the booth. So I went ahead and pulled it off now. Tomorrow I'll need to remove all of this masking, every single bit of it, out of the door jambs everywhere, and then completely remask it off again for the 3rd time. So yeah, we're almost to the end, man. Almost to the point to where we can start doing the fun stuff to this car. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna be really satisfying to see fresh paint on it and it finally just looking freaking beautiful, man, because this thing has always drove me nuts how the paint is just falling off it all over the place. I am definitely excited to move on to wheels, suspension, getting the engine in, the freaking turbo kit, bro. This thing's gonna be so sick. I'm actually kind of upset. I don't know why I'm going so hard on a freaking giveaway car. I should be doing this for my own car, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, it's gonna be really cool to see one of you guys win it. I hope you guys are excited about this, because we really are putting a lot of work into this car, dude. I don't even want to try to calculate the man hours alone that we have been putting in on this freaking paint job. I will tell you, it's up in, like, if you're to go to a professional body shop, like, we're probably at a good $3 grand, if not more, worth of freaking just man hours on this damn thing. So whoever does end up getting this car, you are getting a very dope ass car, man, let me tell you. So anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna call it here. This is an accumulation of probably, I think, like 3 days worth of work on this damn thing. So peace out, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.